past year, the municipalities in Aylmer, Elgin, and St. Thomas have been working together to develop a shared community safety and well-being plan. The Police Services Act requires that every municipal council prepare and adopt a community safety and well-being plan. The Aylmer, Elgin, St. Thomas plan outlines how we will work together with our community partners to make our communities safer and more inclusive places where all residents can thrive. The plan recognizes that complex risks to safety and well-being cannot be addressed in isolation by any one organization, agency, or sector. The goal of this plan is to achieve greater coordination and collaboration on issues and situations before they escalate. Throughout the planning process, we engaged with residents and community organizations to collect information about their perceptions of community safety and well-being. After extensive consultations with our communities, 5 priority areas for the plan have been identified: education and skills development, housing security, mental health and well-being, public safety, and substance use and addiction. For each of these priority areas, an action table has been identified to lead implementation of strategies and actions in these areas. The action tables will work together through the establishment of an integration table to ensure a collaborative response across all 5 priority areas.
Our first priority area focuses on education and skills development. In Aylmer, Elgin, and St. Thomas, 21.4% of residents 15 and older do not have a high school diploma. We heard that education should support all abilities, be culturally sensitive, support diversity, and anti-discrimination, and that life skills training for jobs, lifelong learning, and ongoing adult education are important. This priority area includes the instruction of children and youth from early learning to post-secondary. It also includes alternative learning and life skills programs. Community feedback received during the planning process emphasized the importance of education as a cornerstone in society, and residents connected education and skills development to employment, economic well-being, health, social skills, and decreased crime. To support work in this area, the Elgin Workforce Development Network will work with its community partners to develop and implement strategies to promote lifelong learning in Aylmer, Elgin, and St. Thomas.
Our second priority area focuses on housing security. In our community, 42% of renters have challenges with housing affordability. We heard that there is a lack of availability of rental housing, that rural areas have limited housing availability, and that there is a need for more housing options in both rural and urban areas. To address these challenges, the Housing and Homelessness Action Table is committed to increasing housing security, stability, and access, and to decreasing and preventing occurrences of chronic and episodic homelessness. Some of our strategies will include increasing the supply of affordable housing, decreasing the centralized housing wait list, decreasing barriers to access housing, and decreasing the length of time a person experiences precarious housing or homelessness. By working together with our neighbors, community partners, and the federal and provincial governments, we are confident that we can increase housing supply and eliminate long-term homelessness in our communities.
Our third priority area focuses on mental health and well-being. In a recent survey, 10% of residents 12 or older reported fair or poor mental health. We heard that mental health supports on the street are limited and that our communities need more available and affordable mental health services. To meet our goal of creating a community where everyone can realize their potential, cope with the normal stresses of life, work productively, and contribute to their community, the Elgin Mental Health and Addiction Network will focus on increasing equitable access to mental health services, and enhancing people's wellness and sense of well-being. We will do this by working to remove the mental health crisis from our streets, changing the way that we respond to our residents' mental health needs. We recognize that the mental health crisis is great, and we cannot fix this problem without help from our provincial and federal partners. We are committed to doing our part in supporting the mental health and well-being of our residents, but we need help. And we will continue advocating for funding until we see real change in our communities.
From 2018 to 2019, we have seen an increase of 4.1% in the total number of incidents in Aylmer, Elgin, and St. Thomas. Although residents feel that there is not a lot of serious crime in this area, they report experiencing and hearing about break-ins, petty theft, property theft, drug use, and drug trafficking. Our fourth priority area, public safety, will focus on building communities where people feel safe. The Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan marks the shift in focus from a reactive response-based approach to incidents to a more proactive, holistic approach to community safety. This shift in focus will result in reduced pressure on first responders.
Police services in St. Thomas, Elgin, and Aylmer are committed to working together with our community partners to address situations where there's an elevated risk of harm. To support individuals experiencing mental health crisis in our community, we are currently collaborating with the Canadian Mental Health Association. Our response teams in the field provide an integrated, community-based approach to individuals with the goal of reducing the amount of time police officers spend on these types of calls that can be better handled by trained mental health specialists. We need to divert individuals experiencing a mental health crisis away from the criminal justice system and emergency rooms. Thank you.
We recognize that the complex risks in safety and well-being cannot be addressed in isolation by any one organization, agency, or sector. And police services in Aylmer, Elgin County, and St. Thomas are committed to working together with our community partners to support public safety and well-being. Representatives from the police services, along with representatives from the community, will sit on the newly formed Public Safety Action Table. The Action Table will work together to develop and implement strategies to increase traffic safety, enhance people's wellness and the sense of well-being, and encourage youth to actively participate in building a healthier community and cultivate partnerships to create resilient and safe communities.
Our fifth and final priority area focuses on substance use and addiction. Between 2013 and 2018, the number of emergency department visits with opiate overdoses has increased, and this continues into 2021. In our conversations with residents, we learned that substance use and addictions are very prevalent and increasing in St. Thomas, specifically in the core of the city. There's a lack of services, supports, and resources in this area. While alcohol is still the biggest challenge, there's a growing overdose and opioid crisis in our communities. As part of the Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan, the Elgin Community Drug and Alcohol Steering Committee will focus on promoting safe and healthy communities in Elgin without the negative impacts of drugs and alcohol. The steering committee is currently developing a strategy to support this vision, and the final strategy will focus on prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and justice. To support this strategy, we're committed to working with our community partners to find new ways to serve the needs of the community.
This plan will define community safety and well-being planning in Aylmer, Elgin, and St. Thomas over the coming years, but it is not a final destination. Community safety and well-being issues will continue to evolve, and we are committed to ongoing engagement and dialogue to ensure that the plan remains informed, relevant, and reflective of evolving needs. We gratefully acknowledge the efforts of all individuals, local agencies, and service providers involved in the development of the Aylmer, Elgin, St. Thomas Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan. We appreciate and thank you all.